Have you ever wondered about the current situation in Myanmar? How did we reach this point of escalating tension and conflict? The catalyst for the current upheaval was a military coup in 2021, which shattered the nation's political stability. From the ashes of this disruption rose the Three Brotherhood Alliance, a coalition of ethnic minority armed groups. These factions, united in their fight for autonomy, have been a thorn in the side of the military regime. In a show of defiance, they've seized military posts in Rakhine and Chin states, causing thousands to flee their homes in search of safety. The Arakan Army, a member of the alliance, has been particularly active in Rakhine state. Their battle for greater autonomy is escalating the risk of renewed conflict in these already troubled regions. As the situation unfolds, the military has been forced to face the reality of the challenge posed by these groups. Their acknowledgement of this offensive is more than a mere admission of facts. It symbolizes a significant turning point in this crisis, marking the dawn of an era where the fight for autonomy is no longer a silent struggle, but a loud and clear call to action. The military's acknowledgement of the challenge posed by this offensive marks a significant turning point in this crisis. But Myanmar's crisis doesn't exist in isolation. It has significant implications for its neighbors, especially Bangladesh. The strains of conflict have spilled over the borders, with weeks of cross-border gunfire and shelling by the Myanmar military escalating tensions. This has led to a precarious situation for Bangladesh, a country already shouldering the burden of housing nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees who fled Myanmar in 2017. The fear now is of a fresh exodus of Rohingya refugees pouring into Bangladesh, a country grappling with its own challenges. The gunfire and shelling, while causing immediate physical harm, have also diminished the prospects of repatriation for the Rohingya. This is a large concern for Bangladesh, which hosts the world's largest refugee camp, and has been striving to secure a safe return for the Rohingya to their homes in Myanmar. But Bangladesh is not taking this lying down. It has begun relocating families living in the affected areas to safer places, a move that signals its unwillingness to be a silent spectator. Moreover, the Bangladesh government is actively seeking a diplomatic resolution to the tension. It has summoned Myanmar's envoy multiple times, a clear indication of its intent to resolve matters through dialogue rather than force. This situation in Bangladesh is a stark illustration of the ripple effects of Myanmar's crisis on the region. It's a sobering reminder that the actions of one country can significantly impact its neighbors, and the need for regional cooperation and diplomacy in times of crisis cannot be overstated. Bangladesh's situation illustrates the ripple effects of Myanmar's crisis on the region. Meanwhile, in the north, a powerful alliance of ethnic armed groups has launched an offensive, further testing the military regime. This coalition, making significant inroads into northern Shan state, has managed to capture military outposts and gain ground. Their progress marks a significant escalation in the fight against the military dictatorship that seized power in 2021. In response, the military regime has retaliated with force, even resorting to bombing the area with fighter jets. This brutal response, however, has only served to galvanize the civilian People's Defense Forces, who are standing up to the regime in increasing numbers. Myanmar's president has issued a stark warning amidst this escalating conflict. He cautions that if the government fails to manage the situation effectively, the country could potentially splinter into various parts. This fragmentation of the nation would only exacerbate the ongoing crisis, leading to further instability and conflict. Interestingly, this northern offensive is not just about resistance against the military dictatorship. There are also reports of the coalition's drive to eradicate cyber scamming, which has seen a worrying surge due to the instability in the region. This offensive therefore represents a broader pushback against lawlessness and disorder. China, sharing a border with Myanmar, has also exerted pressure on the military to crack down on crimes in the border area. The instability in Myanmar has resulted in a boom in the illegal drugs trade, which is a cause for concern for its neighboring countries. The northern offensive is yet another layer in Myanmar's complex crisis. So, where does Myanmar stand today amidst these multiple crises? In the face of a military coup, escalating internal conflict, and mounting pressure from neighboring countries, the nation finds itself in a precarious situation. The Arakan Army, along with the Three Brotherhood Alliance, has been launching determined offensives, seizing military posts, and stimulating the anti-coup movement. This has led to a surge in violence, risking the onset of renewed turmoil within the country. Simultaneously, the northern offensive in Shan State serves as a stern test for the military regime, further destabilizing the nation and fanning the flames of resistance among the civilian People's Defense Forces. The impact of these conflicts extends beyond Myanmar's borders. Tensions with Bangladesh have been escalating, with cross-border gunfire stoking fears of a new exodus of Rohingya refugees. This has strained Bangladesh's capacity to accommodate refugees, housing nearly 1 million Rohingyas who fled Myanmar in 2017. But perhaps the most severe fallout of these crises is the humanitarian disaster that's unfolding. Thousands of lives have been lost, countless individuals have been arrested, and a massive number of people have been displaced, creating an urgent need for global intervention. As the situation continues to evolve, the world watches with bated breath, hoping for a peaceful resolution in Myanmar.